Hello, 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 hello. Say hi when you're here. Hi, guys. Good evening. How are you? Where are you, actually? How are you and where are you? Hi. Good to see you all. So this week we're doing Thursday instead of Friday, which is actually better, but I'm normally teaching on Thursday at this time. So I can't really do Thursdays at this time. Hi, everyone. Where are you guys? In terms of city or country, where are you? Tell me where you are. Let's see. São Paulo, anyone? London? São Paulo? England? Australia? Ireland? Where are you? Brazil? Natal? Cool. Very nice indeed. Today is a very cool live. New York! What? Rio, Manchester, London, Sao Paulo. Amazing. You guys are awesome. I actually wanted to talk to you about a conversation I had with a student this week. Okay, my student is here. She's watching. Hi, Diane. So I had a chat with my student this week. I'm going to be looking at the camera because otherwise I get distracted with your messages and then I'll go back to the messages, okay? So I was having a chat with my student this week and she asked me 3 very important questions. She asked me, she seemed very worried about this. Like I could tell when I looked at her on Skype, I could see that she looked nervous, that she was, she was a bit worried about these questions. Those questions actually represented a lot. They were important questions to her. And she asked me the following questions. Question number 1 was, Patricia, when you are counting 1, 2, 3, there are lots of things on your table and you have to count those things. Do you count in Portuguese or in English? And she really wanted to know that. This was a very important question, wasn't it, Diane? Like, you can tell people I'm not lying here. And I said to her, in Portuguese, why? And she goes, really? And I said, yeah, I do. Most of the time, I do. Sometimes, maybe I will count in English. If I'm doing something in English, pay attention to this. If I'm doing something in English, like I'm talking to my kids, then I will probably count in English because I'm already doing something in English. But if I'm just here and I'm not speaking and I have to count, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably. And she was super happy about this, right? She's looking at me and she's like, wow, that's awesome. I have another question though, she says. And I say, okay, hit me. What is it? Hit me. Hit me is like, okay, go on. Like, I'm curious. What is this? And she goes, when you have to curse, when you have to say swear words, bad words, do you do it in English or do you do it in Portuguese? And I said, both. Both. I sometimes say fuck. And sometimes I say puta que pariu. I say both, really. It depends on... nowadays, because I have kids and I don't want my kids to be saying those words. So I find that I avoid cursing altogether because they're there and I don't want them to say bad words. I like cursing, but I don't want them to do it. So I avoid cursing. But when something really bad happens, like, I don't know, like I hit my elbow somewhere, like, fuck, shit. And my kid is there because I talk to my kids in English, and then I'll probably say, probably, because then I find that they are, this is a complex idea. You have to try and see what I mean here. They are used to me talking to them in English, okay? So the idea of me is very much in English to my children. So if I then curse in Portuguese, the chances of my kids repeating that are slightly lower, because I never heard my kids swearing in Portuguese, but I heard my son saying fuck the other day. Just saying. So, so I avoid cursing in English when they are there. I curse in both languages. So I can't say, oh no, I only curse in English because I'm like British, because it's not true. I'm Brazilian, actually. So yeah, I count in Portuguese and I curse a lot of the time in Portuguese as well, okay? And the third question that she asked me was super interesting as well. I really love this question because it's something that I have spoken about before. Maybe you were not here, so that will be interesting to you. The question was, when you listen to music, do you understand everything? And I said, of course not. What kind of a question is that? Who do you think I am? And we were joking about this, and she was very relieved to hear that I don't understand everything, guys. If it's not your first language, you're not going to understand everything. It depends on the singer. It depends on the type of music so much, really. It depends on whether you're paying attention. Sometimes it depends on whether you are watching a music video. Because when you watch the singer singing and you can look at the mouth, sometimes it helps. You're like, oh, I know what you said, because you can see. I'm going to give you an example of a singer that everybody knows, this band, that I never understand. Like, I understand some things in the song, but I don't understand. I couldn't reproduce the lyrics. If I want to sing, I have to search for the lyrics and learn the lyrics to be able to sing it, which is Maroon 5. My daughter, Naomi, loves Maroon 5. She's 3 years old. I actually think she has like a secret crush on Adam. It must be, right? Because she loves it. She's well into it. Anyway, she wants to listen to Maroon 5. She's currently very much into Memories. It is that lovely song. I don't know if you heard it. I'm not going to sing it. Give up, because it's not going to happen. But she loves that song. And the music video is actually just Adam. It's just Adam. It's like his face. Hi, Danny. I'm glad you came. Yay. So she's like watching Memory. Have you seen the video for Memories? It's just Adam. It's just Adam's face. That's it. And Naomi's like, seriously, that's what she's doing. So she watches that and she loves that song. And I want to sing it. So I had to look up the lyrics to be able to sing that properly with her and teach her, And I don't have a problem with that. What I'm trying to say here, and this is such an important live, and I wanted, when I spoke to Diane about this, I said to her, I'm going to tell people about this, because she was so happy. Like, isn't it right, Diane? She was so happy to know that I don't do all of the things she thought I did, or I'm not the way she thought I was. Because I think for a lot of you guys, you see me speaking English and you think, like, Patricia knows everything, and I will never get to that stage. You are very mistaken here for 2 reasons. 1, I don't know everything. 2, it's not impossible to get to this stage. Obviously, the way I learned was different. You probably saw my post on Instagram yesterday about this. I learned in a different way. Hence hence me teaching in a different way too. But I guess the point is that it's your second language. Sometimes it's your third language if you're lucky. And you cannot have those crazy expectations, guys. You cannot expect, listen to this, make notes. Like, I'm not even joking now, make notes. You cannot expect English to replace Portuguese or whatever your first language is, because it's not gonna happen. The role of English, what English is supposed to do, the role of English is not to replace your first language, because that is insane. That is expecting something that is just not real. It's not achievable. It's not possible. So when you set this goal for yourself, you are doing something very unrealistic and something that will bring so much frustration because you won't get there. First language, here. Second language, here. You will have both. You're not replacing your first language with English. You're not saying, goodbye, Portuguese. I don't want to speak Portuguese anymore. It's shit. I just want to speak English. Hi, Dad. Hi, Mom. I just want to speak English instead. What? The other day, I saw an ad that came to me on Instagram from a teacher, an English teacher, and she said, my English is better than my Portuguese. And I'm like, no, it's not. Let's face it. Come on, people. That's the problem, isn't it? You guys have crazy expectations and then you never get there. And then you keep blaming yourself for it. Like you did something really wrong and you're stupid, and you will count in Portuguese. You will swear in Portuguese. You will not understand lyrics a lot of the time. And that's fine. I think that's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. I asked my husband, he's super fluent. I asked him whether he counts in Portuguese or English. You know what he said? English. I was like, shut up, you don't. And he went, I do actually. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. But we discussed this so much that we actually got to the bottom of this. I love this expression. When you get to the bottom of something, it's like it's a big mystery. And, you go deep into it until you actually understand what happened. You get to the bottom of this, right? So we got to the bottom of it. We did, because we were like, why do you count in English and I count in Portuguese most of the time? We wanted to understand this because although my husband is super fluent and his English is amazing, he moved to England when he was older than me. So we learned in a different way. We have a different English to each other. It's really crazy. So the conclusion that we got to was that he is a maths guy. I'm a word girl. So he loves maths. I love words. I don't do maths. I have a big problem with numbers, guys. It's just not my thing. Whereas he is an engineer. So his brain is like a logical brain, isn't it? Also, he ran a business in England. So numbers was, a big part of his life. And he ran a business in English. So he was always doing this. Accounting was a part of his everyday life in English. So we got to the bottom of it eventually. He is an exception to this rule, okay? I want to say something to you that I came up with the other day. I'm so proud of this. I told you it was going to be a good live. I told you. If you're not here, I'm sorry, you missed out. Who am I saying this to? Anyway, I came up with something that I really believe in. And I spoke about this before, but this time I actually came up with a name for my theory. Seriously. I came up with a name for my theory. It is the CCTheory. C, like letter C and letter C. Again, theory. It's the CCTheory by Patrícia Angst. If somebody says CCTheory somewhere, you'll be like, #honest patch, okay? Because that's from me. Yeah. The CC theory is first you copy and then you craft. Let's just understand this a little bit. I'm going to give you an example, okay? A lot of you guys, again, we're talking about high expectations. And I'm saying to you, stop being crazy. No high expectations here. This is reality. Let's just not do that because it doesn't help. So the high expectation that you have and that a lot of people have, I'm getting messages every day and people are like, Patricia, I understand, but I can't speak. I understand you, but when I have to speak, it doesn't come out. My sentences are bad. They sound terrible. I was thinking about this so much. And I was also thinking about the fact that you guys complain to me that you cannot write. How can I learn to write in English? I'm trying to send a message and I don't know how to structure my writing. So the CC theory works for speaking and writing. The first thing you do is copy. So if you want to improve your writing, you pick a paragraph a day from an article, from a book, from a person who knows English fluently, not from the person that goes to school with you in your class, okay? And you copy with a pen and paper this paragraph. As you do this every single day, you begin to eventually be able to craft, which is the second C of my theory. So first, you copy. You don't have to create anything. You don't have to use your imagination. You just copy. I'm saying this to you because I can, because that's how I learn. And that's, hiccups, water, hold on, I'm just talking too much. Let me go back to my thinking. Okay, I'm saying this to you because I can, because that's how I learned. So I can say this to you. That's how I learned. You can see my results. Hello, results, right here. So I can say that to you. Do you agree? Does that make sense? For speaking, the CC theory for speaking. I can't speak. First, you're going to listen to so much English and copy what they say. All you have to do, amazing people, is pause and repeat. All you have to do is copy until you have done this so many times that you are able to craft. Do you know what craft is? To craft something is to create with details, you know? So what I'm doing with my course, with my English course, is I am crafting my English course. You know, I'm creating every single detail. Craft. You cannot craft without copying first. Please remember that. You want to improve your speaking? Brilliant. I think you should. So first of all, you copy, you mimic people. They say it, you say the same thing. Pause again and again and again every single day until you are able to craft. You want to improve your writing? You copy what people are writing every day, again and again and again, until you can sit down with a pen in your hand and you can get a sentence down that is correct simply because you've done enough copying. Not because you know the rules, not because you know that the adverb should be here and the verb should be there and the preposition should be here. Who needs to know that? Are you a linguist? You probably don't need to know that then. Do you see what I mean? Yeah? So you got to remember from tonight's live, possibly the most exciting live I've ever done. Like my heart is beating fast. Can I just say that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just getting palpitations, honestly. All I want to say is, please, 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 lower your expectations. Be realistic. Work hard. Work your ass off, but be realistic. Secondly, CCTheory. Okay, and remember, it is my theory. Somebody says CCTheory, you go, yep, I know who created that. It was Patricia, actually. Okay, all right then. So let me see what you guys are saying. Hello, everyone. You see, my dad is telling us that he does the copying thing with LBC, which is a radio station I have recommended to you in the past, one of my faves. See, Dad, it's a great technique, isn't it? I just think people needed to give it a name, which is why I did. If you want to speak English, you have to listen to a lot of English. Yeah, of course. Of course. If you want to speak, you have to listen. If you want to write, you have to read. There is no miracle. There is no miracle. It's hard work. And it is hard work for people that live abroad. It didn't come easy for me, guys. It wasn't like, I've been here 2 months. I'm fluent, everybody. It wasn't like that. It was really hard work for me. I worked really hard to get where I am today. And guess what? I am still at it. I don't live in England anymore. I live in Brazil. So really, for my English to have gone downhill, really it could have happened, but I didn't let it happen. I'm never going to let it happen. There you go. The first book I read in English was a book I have here, actually, The Time Traveler's Wife. It was The Time Traveler's Wife. It was the first book I read in English. And I had already been in England for a long time. I don't recommend that. It was a mistake. I'd been in England for 5 years, I think, or 6 years when I read that book. It's a big book. It's a proper book, okay? But still, I don't recommend. I think you need to start reading right now. I think you should read always. And I'm a reader, but it took me a long time to get into reading in English. But I'm always reading a book nowadays. I always have a book going, always, and it's always in English. Like sometimes I'll read something in Portuguese in between because I love reading. So sometimes I really want to do something in Portuguese, but 99% of the time, it's English. Beautiful people, what an amazing live. Thank you all for being here tonight. I am going to go because I have a lot of work to do. The course is almost finished and it is the most beautiful project ever. So I'm excited to see what you guys are going to think very soon. All right. Thank you so much. Remember everything I said tonight because you have to. Okay. It's not how people say it is. It's not supposed to be. You're learning another language. It's hard work. Okay. Love you, Mom. All right, guys. I love you. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you next week. That's for sure. Bye.